Welcome back to the Royce White Show here on Real America's Voice. David Penn, your guest host for segment 4. I'm so glad to be with you. You know, we're about politics, right? We're about news, we're about entertainment, but we're really about political action. And here in Minnesota, we got a pretty good digital army forming up. If you're in Minnesota, please, you can follow me on X at Prof. Penn Podcast, on Getter at the Professor Penn Podcast. You can find me on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you go for podcasts, the Professor Penn Podcast. Let's watch Royce, please call me crazy, and our joint property, Hebrews. We're doing this with a purpose, and that purpose, and Royce articulated it quite beautifully. He's frustrated because of the softness of the people that are politically active here in Minnesota, and they really are soft. Oh, please don't swear. Please don't attack Republicans. Well, let me give you a perfect example of how this is going to work. Our Senate Majority Leader, John Thune from South Dakota, is a protege of Mitch McConnell, the hand-chosen successor, which would mean that John Thune is a rather uniparty figure. Nice way of saying it, isn't it? You know, this past week, the Senate took a run at taking away President Trump's trade authority. And it almost made it, but not quite. One vote shy. John Thune did a solid. I looked at it, I said, wow, that's amazing. John Thune tabled that effort. He put it in a box where it can't be. He buried it in the backyard. That issue's not coming up. I thought to myself, wow, John Thune, I thought you were a rhino. That's pretty badass of you. And then I thought, why would he do that? Why would he do that? Well, there's a reason why, and it has a name. Kristi Noem from South Dakota. You see, when you get people that stand up and are willing to fight, it either gives spine and backbone to the spineless, or it controls them because they don't want to lose their jobs in show business. So when we confront Republicans, and here in Minnesota, you know I'm doing that, I don't want to unseat Republicans per se when you start to vote appropriately, because now you know you're being watched. And as more and more people band together, and in your state, you can start the same thing. Get a group of patriots together in your backyard and start digitally communicating and watch every single thing that our party does in your city, in your county, and in your state. And when you start to become vocal about it, oh, these people, they're going to pay attention, because, you know, they're not all that. They're just sellouts who took a job in show business. They don't want to lose that job. How many real fire breathers like Royce White do we really have out there on the playing field? Now, here's the facts. Royce, a young man. I have not ever in my life met someone at that age with that kind of political acumen. And Royce is on his walk like I'm on my walk, like you're on your walk. What Royce does personally, these people impugn, they lie about, they are scurrilous in their indictments of Royce. Untruths spread, gossip is a sin. These people want to talk about the irrelevant. The relevant is, what are the policies? What do people believe? What are they going to do if we elect them? So, you know, give me a white starched shirt wearing, blue and red and white tie wearing, American flag lapel pin wearing, blue suit wearing, beautiful family, beautiful kids, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, law school, military service, and you put my children to die in a war of discretion? No. Give me the grit. Give me the real. Give me the people that come off the streets and are willing to give all to save my freedom from the tyranny of the liars. And here's a lie. Here's a lie. Over and over again. President Trump said, China's going to pay for it. Those countries are going to pay for my tariffs. And all these talking head economists that never traded in anything say, well, that's not true. The importer of records pay for it. The American people are going to pay for it. Well, let me tell you, I'm an importer of record. I'm in the tire business. For those of you that know me, know that I operate TireGet.com. It's an online consumer retailer. We import tires. Guess what happened? The suppliers have offset a very substantial part of these new taxes by lowering the price because they want to keep the market share. They're paying for it. They're paying for it. The price isn't going to go up as much as all these pundits like to threaten you. In fact, I'm not sure it's even going to go up at all. But President Trump has got the American people in on the deal now, raising money so that we don't go bust. In fact, I suspect that when all the dust settles and the smoke clears, there's not going to be that much change to price at all. That's what's happening in the tire business. And I'm an expert in that one. And I don't think the tire business is that different than any of the rest of these businesses. So the fear-mongering is a bit overblown unless an importer is still in China. Now, I got out of China in 2016. 2016, before President Trump came down the elevator, because I got eyes that see and ears that hear. All of the essential, most important industries that we rely on every day have been out of China for a very long time. Now, those are the beer businesses. The foam, the discretionary stuff, yeah, that's still in China. Amy Klobuchar, my senator, had a young woman up who owns a business, and she was crying. They were using her as an example. She said, I'm going to go broke. And she's in a business, and I looked up her business. I went to her website, and she has a beautiful website, and she's selling products for babies. Well, I've raised 5 of them, and I lived without all of those products when I raised my kids. Those are discretionary products. They're not necessary products. I will assure you that all of the necessary products, the price is going to be just fine. We're going to have more money in our pockets than ever. We just need to be tough enough to go through this period of transition, which the left is calling chaos. We have to be tough enough not to focus on the price, but focus on the freedom for our lives, for the lives of our children. We cannot be free if there's one world government, and the Trojan horse to bring us to one world government is one world economy, also known as free trade. What is the most poignant example of free trade? Well, that would be slavery. Slavery. And what does free trade do? It makes us all slaves to materialism. President Trump has been widely criticized. He made a very beautiful statement. Maybe my daughter might only have 3 dolls instead of 30. That's not some kind of bizarre statement. And the fact that a billionaire made the statement doesn't make it wrong. It's a truism. I don't spend money on things. I spend my time in prayer and reflection. I spend my time doing things that bring meaning to my life. Consumerism dulls the senses of the people. Let us realize together this morning, this beautiful morning, May 10th, we're living in World War III. Yes, we are. The outcome is not determined and cannot be predicted. The outcome actually could be influenced by you if you decide today to get involved in the game of politics and become a delegate to your local party and root out these war-mongering, anti-human globalists who have sold out and called themselves Republicans. They're chaos agents. I deal with them every day here in Minnesota. Now, Christ said something profound. Father, forgive them because they know not what they do. And I take that to heart. And for some of these people, that's a truism. But some of them are truly evil. And for us to get from where we are today to a better future, we're going to have to root this evil out of our society. So I ask myself, what can I do? Well, I'm doing everything I can politically. I'm doing everything I can in media, and thanks for following me. But I think the most important thing I'm working on is putting sin underfoot in my own life. And I pray to God to give me the strength to heal me. I'm a boomer. This is probably the most fallen generation in world history. The people my age who like to look at Royce White and criticize him because of all the sins they've forgotten and covered up in their own lives. No, let us take the log out of our own eyes. I'm going to take that log out of my own eye. That's what I'm working on. And if we all work on that together, if we all restore righteousness amongst the people that are American citizens, if we live with dignity and if we live with meaning and purpose to preserve freedom, and freedom to do what? To worship as we see fit. If we preserve that, by restoring our own integrity, our own goodness, our own righteousness, this country will be saved. And by using that, let me say I'm very happy to be here with you this morning. It's so great to be offering a lead-in to the great Steve Bannon, who follows up after me and has done so much for all of us to open our minds and our hearts to a better future for America and for the American people. And now we have a president who they call chaotic, who they make fun of, who is operating at a level that frankly is beyond the canon view of most of us to see. But if we study it, if we look at it, if we understand it, we will see that we're living in a world war with the president who's trying to save this great republic. Thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you.